Yo, it's your boy iUnCapped, and in today's video I will be giving you 17 tips and tricks to help you prepare for a solo Fortnite tournament. There's going to be one extra tip at the beginning and two extra tips at the end because I didn't include them in the original recording, and it did take me a really long time to get all these clips together, so it'd be much appreciated if you drop a like, and then also drop a sub on the channel if you want to see more content like this, and be sure to use code iUnCapped in the item shop if you aren't using anyone else's code. And let's get popping with the 17 tips. Enjoy the video. Also, quick disclaimer, I did say it would be 17 tips and tricks, but I forgot a very important tip, which is to always VOD review your gameplay and pay attention to what you can do better and what you did well. Enjoy the video. So after VOD reviewing my ranked solo gameplay and my solo scrims, I came up with 17 tips and tricks that can help you prepare for a solo tournament. Tip number 1 is to always block your angles and double and triple edit when ramping up. You want to block your angles because you don't want to get shot at from third parties or the person that you're fighting if they're just camping height. And you always want to double and triple edit up because you don't want the opponent that you're fighting to get doubles on you, because then the fight's pretty much over. Tip number 2 is you want to set up proper fights. A lot of times I saw myself running up to people's boxes and just doing random stuff that ended up getting me eliminated. What you want to do is have some sort of a plan and have some sort of form of action to know exactly what you need to do. A good way to practice this is going into Raiders Mechanical Map V3. They have a spot in the free build section where a bot is just boxed up and you can just practice setting up proper fights. Also, Ken Beans does have a speed realistics map which can help you with that as well. Number 3 was to just chill on the build fighting. I was doing too much build fighting in these clips and I was wasting a lot of mats, and if I do build fight I should probably use brick. Even though I'm so tempted to use wood, using brick will make me be more conservative with my mats, and build fighting usually just got me nowhere except for a big waste of time and a big waste of mats. Tip number 4 I put twice because I really did well when I won my fights with my aim. Having good aim as a controller player, now if you're keyboard and mouse this applies to you too, but having good aim as a controller player is essential. Ken Beans even said in his video, when you get right on the game you should take 20 minutes to just work on your aim before you do anything else. I do suggest using the drum shotty just to practice with from time to time, even though the Havoc pump is still going to be the meta. You do want to use the drum shotty in practice maps and stuff like that. So if you do end up with it, because there's very high RNG for the drum shotty, if you do end up with it, you can be able to win your fights with that weapon as well. And if you end up with the mythic drum, then yeah, just use that weapon and go crazy. But anyways, yes, you do want to practice your aim. I do have an aim map video that I included in the description, so you can check that out. It's very helpful for your tracking and stuff like that. Tip number 5 is to go for piece control more. A lot of times I see myself go for a shot, I do high damage, and then I'm just still trying to go for the shot and just chase the person around, which they usually end up getting away or doing high damage to me back. When really, if I just went for the piece control, going for doubles, blocking them off with a wall, whatever I need to do, that'll help me end the fight a lot faster. So just working on training my brain to go for more piece control. And if you aren't doing this, could be a very helpful tip for you as well. Tip number 6 isn't really in-game related, but it's very helpful. If you have a controller and you get in stick drift or it breaks and you have to get it replaced, that could suck. It happens to me so much, to the fact where I actually figured out a solution. I ended up going to Best Buy to get my controllers because whenever they mess up, you can just use the Geek Squad warranty and get your controller replaced for free. Check it out. Tip number 7 is to stop wasting mats. I also put this earlier in the first couple tips, but this will apply to something else. So if you're rolling up to third party a fight and you see they're already high in the air and you don't want to use your mats to build, you can go up old builds to get to them. Also, this can apply to the late game. If you're rotating and you don't want to get shot at, you want to use something to block line of sight, you can use people's old builds to run around so you can get to the zone. Tip number 8 You want to stop wasting so much time in Storm. If you're doing that, this was specifically for me because I was wasting so much time in Storm, especially in the late game, taking high damage, giving myself a higher chance of getting Storm sickness, which would give me a big disadvantage against everyone else. So you don't want to push fights in Storm too much, and you don't want to greed loot in Storm too much. You really want to prioritize staying in the zone. Tip number 9. Time when people have to reload. So this season is going to be a heavy spray meta season, and honestly, it's just, you need to know when people need to reload, especially when they have that dumb pancake rifle. I'm sorry, you might like the pancake rifle or the flapjack rifle, the syrup rifle, whatever you want to call it. You might like that rifle, so shout out to you if you do, but I don't like that gun. And if someone's reloading it, it's gonna take them a year to do that, so you have plenty of time to come up with a plan to either attack or escape or whatever you need to do. Now, the other weapons have much faster reload time, so you need to have faster reaction, but you can still time when people have to reload and either go for an attack play or an escape play. Tip number 10. Use code iUnCapped in the item shop. That's it. I just have to replug myself, but I'm giving you all these tips and tricks, so just use code iUnCapped because it's free, you know? Tip number 11. Don't start late night playing rank. If you're gonna play ranked, you don't want to get tilted. You want to start early. I say if you're gonna start after 8 o'clock, then just don't do it. Try playing creative. Try working on your mechs, working on your aim. Do some vibe reviewing. Don't do something unless you're like insanely cracked at the game. Everyone else is gonna be playing. They're gonna be 2 hours in. I started at 10 o'clock last night, and I did not have fun. So don't play rank that late at night. Or don't start that late at night. Tip number 12 is to pay attention to the zones in game. They'll move fast and you don't have much time to react. So you want to make sure you're always looking at your mini map, seeing where the zone's pulling. And tip number 13 is going to kind of go at tip number 12. You want to play high layers. So you always want to stay up as high as you can. Now, if you need a refresh, you can drop down, catch people off guard, but you want to stay ahead of zone as much as you can. And after you get the refresh, you want to get back onto a safe high layer. Tip number 14. Now, this is like mid to late game. You want to rotate dead sides because you don't want to go where there's a lot of traffic, a lot of people. When you're rotating, you want to always stay where there's the least amount of people as possible and you can get a safe rotate. Tip number 15 is you want to always play edges in the late in-game situation. So instead of having people to your right and to your left, you would just have zone to your right and people to your left, or zone to your left and people to your right. And this will make life a lot easier for you while you're still playing those high layers. Tip number 16 is to always rotate immediately in the mid and late game. So like when it turns to be like 5th, 6th, 7th, maybe even 8th zone, you want to make sure you're rotating immediately. So you want to have a plan for rotate, and you want to make sure you take an account of people that can shoot at you and will have angles on you, and make sure you block those angles when you're rotating. And tip number 17, really important. A lot of people may not know this, but use opportunities to refarm your mats. So you can always use a building. You can box up on top of a building or near a building and get your brick, your metal, your wood, whatever you need from that building. The building will have cover for you as well, so that's very helpful. And if you're trying to refarm your mats with brick, be sure not to build on the brick because it will break, and be sure not to greed the brick as well. So if you're trying to get the brick from a bad spot where people can see you, you kind of want to wait until they're distracted to get it, or just don't even go for it at all. But always look for opportunities to refarm your mats. With that being said, that is the end of the video. I tried to make it as quick as I can. I recorded this video over and over, but I needed to get it out today. I needed to get it out early. I'll try my best to continue to put out content like this, but be sure to drop a like if this was helpful for you at all. Also, like I said earlier, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. because I will be dropping more content like this. And like I said, also, if you're not using anyone's code in the item shop, be sure to use code iUnCapped. But I'm gonna go ahead and slide, and good luck in this weekend's tournaments and any future tournaments as well. It's your boy iUnCapped. I'm out of here. Peace. And one last tip that I didn't get to put in the video, but I wanted to put it at the end. So if you made it to here, you're lucky. Be sure to learn how to tarp away in fights, and be sure to look for third parties when you're looking for fights. Those two things I wanted to cover more, but I seen it after looking through all my clips, and I decided to put it at the end of the video. And I'm out. Peace.